Here we have the Gihon Valley, the Central Valley on the other side. And they lead down towards this pool here at the bottom, the Bechat HaShiloach, the Shiloach pool. Now the problem here is that the water is outside the city. So you can see these people here, they're standing on Har Zaitim, across from the city. Down here again is the Gihon, and you'd have lots of agriculture here. But here, this is the actual spring, the Gihon spring. That's a problem, because it's outside the city walls. So why not just build the walls down here? Because you build the walls wherever it's most strategic. And this is the most strategic point to build the walls, because that way you're using all of this hillside, this slope, as if it's part of the fortifications of the city. But you can't leave the water source out here, right? Because if the city is laid siege, so then what happens? So then it falls into the hands of the enemy, and then you have one more problem, is that you have no more water. So what they do is, this is already from the Canaanim, they have the pool that the spring fills, the Gihon spring. Next to it they have a guard tower, and all of that is encased within a wall that extends from the city itself. So you go down from the city, you go underneath the city walls, come out and you come to the guard tower, and then over to the pool of the spring. So why does Dovid send Shlomo specifically to the Gihon spring? What does that help? I'm standing right now by the Gihon spring, and it was just a very short walk to come from the city of David itself, from Yerushalayim in the times of David HaMelech, here to the spring. Next to it we have the guard tower. This is the pool of the spring. Now you don't go up to the spring head itself and turn it like a faucet or anything like that. Everyone would have to be coming to the spring, and as such you have it come out from where it actually comes out of the rock, the spring head, out into a pool like you see here. And that's where everyone would come to gather. Keeping in mind, it was almost like the water cooler in an office, or think about how many different times we have the water source as a place going to look for a shidduch in Tanakh. We have Yaakov Avinu, and we have Eliezer going for Yitzchak, and we also have, of course, Moshe Rabbeinu, who goes and he finds Sipporah. Okay, so keep in mind, this is where the action is happening. This is where everyone's meeting up. If you're looking for the town gossip, this is the place to come and get it. But there's another spring in Yerushalayim. You have Ein Rogel, which is further out down to the Kidron, but still possible. And that's where Adoniyahu is at the moment being coronated. So then, what does it help to be sent here at the same time? And why all of a sudden, when everyone over there in Ein Rogel hears what's going on, that Shlomo Melech was brought here, why do they all of a sudden jump up and run away? It's not like Avshalom, right? Here we have a totally different situation. It doesn't become a battle or anything. They just get up and run for it. What happened? Well, standing here, it actually becomes very, very clear. Because here, when you see the proximity between the Gihon spring and the city, it becomes very clear that it's so much closer, that this was the main spring and the main source of water for the town. Whereas Ein Rogel is this secondary one out in the fields, more for the people who are working the fields probably, and it's certainly not the main spring of the town. It's like if you hear something on mainstream media, or just through some rumors in some social media, Facebook page, whatever, okay? Obviously, it gets a much heavier weight if it's from a reliable source. And so when it's heard that this is going on right here by the Gihon spring, and it's very close to the city, this is the main place, you know that this is really from David HaMelech. And when you see that it's really from David HaMelech, it stops the entire rebellion right from the beginning. Everyone runs for it. They leave Adoniyahu. Adoniyahu himself scatters and realizes all hope is lost at this point for a rebellion, at least for the moment, and puts an end to things real quick. Okay, so all of this becomes very, very clear when you're standing here in the city of David, Ir David, right by the Gihon spring itself, where the events actually happened.